Hey guys, Tisha here, and we are back with another Real Housewives of Potomac review. And I'm going to tell you that I do not like Mia, and I now do not like Nneka. I feel like Nneka is there as a plant that she very much so probably met with Ashley off camera and discussed certain things that Ashley could have seen as her talking junk about Wendy. I do not think that she was talking junk about the whole thing that they were talking about with curses and all that other stuff, but I do feel like she was saying something based on what we saw towards the end of this episode. One thing that I hate about reality TV with some of these ladies is their lack of awareness. It seems to me that just because they have a problem with someone, they can't call a thing. So because I don't like Wendy, I'm not going to speak up for Wendy when I see something being done wrong. Or because I don't like Candace, I'm not going to call out Giselle and Robin and even Ashley at one point on the BS that they've done in regards to Candace and her husband. They don't like Wendy, and a lot of them don't care for Candace. So at this point, anything that those two people say in the group, they're going to find an issue with it. I cannot like a person and still give credit when it is due. Still give credit for what it is that they're doing. These women are intimidated and they cannot do that. We see Ashley, who continues to be messy and make it seem like Nneka is talking about Wendy when she wasn't, but I no longer believe that. We have Robin, who lets everyone know that she is not hiding, that she is okay with what happened with her husband, that she wants him to continue to go out in the public and hang out with whoever he wants to, as long as she's made privy to it. She doesn't agree with Giselle and what Giselle said, and that she feels sorry for the people who are sitting there and they're worried about her because she's not worried about it. So Robin has told you all how she feels. Leave it alone. I don't want anything else to be said about Juan, because at this point, we, the people, the public, we do not care. We know that you're going to lie. We know that you're going to cover up. We know that you're going to throw Juan in our face, who has for season upon season not wanted to film because he thought that he was too good for the show. And now all of a sudden he has to make appearances. Why is that? Why the change? Why are y'all forcing this man down our throats? We do not care. So we find out that Giselle thinks that Karen is owed an apology, that Karen owes Robin an apology. And she says this in front of the group. She's like, I feel like she owes you an apology for what she said about Juan and that young lady. But we know that Giselle is not willing to apologize to Candace or Chris or even Wendy, because I'm still not quite sure what Wendy did to her. But she feels like she needs to facilitate this apology between Karen and Robin. Giselle has a nerve. Karen and Robin go in the house. They talk about things. They don't agree on who started the beef, but they both apologize. I don't think Robin deserves an apology after all the things that she's done to Karen. It's like, okay, as far as I'm concerned, they're even. Karen didn't do anything but state what was allegedly a rumor that we now know is a fact. And they even know is a fact based on the fact that pictures have resurfaced with these two individuals. They say that from here on out, they're not going to speak anything but facts. We then get back to Ashley, and Ashley brings up that she heard from Karen that Wendy is supposed to be doing a show. Wendy talks about her desire to do the talk show, how it's going to be different because it's going to be more from an educational / political standpoint. She lets them know the premise. And as she's talking, it's obvious that Mia is bothered and Giselle doesn't care either, because they're making faces. You not interested. Okay, walk away from the table. You might as well have. I just don't get the issue at this point with Giselle, other than I feel like she's imitated or jealous of Wendy. Mia says that she doesn't feel like this would even be a show that she wants to watch, because she wants to receive empowerment from Wendy while she gets to say or do whatever she wants. So she doesn't feel like, okay, this is the person that I'm supposed to get empowered from when Wendy doesn't says whatever she wants. But girl, you are the same person who tossed a drink on her and who said things about her. I'm sorry, but it is not my responsibility to empower someone who continues to do things to disrespect me. Wendy said that with them, things continue to go left after Mia constantly was posting things about her, that she cannot uplift her at this point because she is down, she's too low down. And I said, okay, Wendy, that's right. But I need Wendy to help the situation by not engaging with Mia and giving Mia things to use against her. Example, the whole thing about, Mia being too slow to understand, that you have to have a certain intellect. That was very much so an indirect comment to go towards Mia and Giselle. Let's be clear though, I do not like Mia. The ladies then head inside where Wendy invites just Ashley to her son's communion. I thought it was tacky, and that she should have done it earlier when it was just her and Ashley talking. But it's obvious that Wendy did this basically because the same thing was done to her by Robin when Robin invited everyone else to the kids' party but Wendy. We then see Giselle. Giselle and Grace are shopping for college outfits, and Grace is joking her mother's style as well as the way that her mother dances. She does not want to look a hot mess like her mama. They talk about prom and college life and what that's all going to look like. End of that. We then find out at Wendy's house that Wendy is Catholic. She's at home and she's ready to prepare the kids for their first communion. I couldn't help but notice that as the kids practiced and Eddie was standing there acting like he was the priest, he had on a shirt that said Happy Eddie. I like that he did that. Like, okay, y'all want to talk about this? Yeah, I am Happy Eddie. They practice with the kids. It's cute. Wendy then proceeds to tell Eddie about NECA based on what Ashley said. I wish that Wendy would have pulled NECA to the side with Ashley to get clarification about this conversation, because at this point, the reason why these two seem to be going at it or are going to be going at it is going to be because of what Ashley said. And this is sad. Ashley and her crew knew exactly what they wanted to do, because even with the whole thing with Robin, out of all people to go to lunch with and to get to know, she chooses to get to know Robin. It just doesn't seem like it adds up. Okay, we have Mia. We see Karen go over to her house where she gives her some type of half hug. G comes in and he takes the kids out. They talk about Wendy, and Mia wants to know, like, how do you feel, Miss Etiquette Queen, about Wendy doing what she did and inviting the people to the kids' communion and not inviting everyone? I want to know why Mia has a problem with this. Like, why would she invite you around her kids when you threw a beverage in her face and you didn't seem to be remorseful for it? Karen points out how they excluded her from previous events all last year, and how that was basically why she did it, was to kind of like, yeah, you did it to me, now I'm going to do it to you. Mia then uses this opportunity to say that her son has an IEP and he has delayed speech, and she feels like Wendy saying that she was slow is a slight to her son because he has some delays. Karen apologizes, and I want to know what the F for, because this is another example of Mia reaching and Mia trying to invoke sympathy from the viewers. I do not feel sorry for Mia. Do I feel bad that your son needs an IEP? Yes, but there are very, very intelligent kids that need IEPs. Speech delay has nothing to do with intelligence at all. I have a cousin who is highly autistic, who is so intelligent, who from a baby would grab you because he couldn't speak and point at what it was he wanted. And if you did the wrong thing, he would touch your hand and move it and all these other things. So let's not sit here and act like that was what was being said. She knows that she was just referring to Mia, but of course, Mia is going to turn this into something else. Can we even believe that her son really has these delays? Not saying anything about it if he does, but Mia lies about so much stuff. Is this true? Because Wendy called her slow. She did not speak about her son. Before this, did we even know that he had any developmental delays? I think not, because even Karen, who supposedly is very well versed with Gordon, even she didn't know. We then see Candace, who was out doing her 9-city tour as well as 2 shows in LA. She meets up with Wendy to catch up about the housewarming and to also meet her friend, Kiarna, I think her name was. So Wendy was receiving clarification from NECA knowing Ashley. What in the world was I writing right here? Okay, so she talks about the whole situation with Ashley and NECA, and how Ashley informed her some things about NECA, and she talks about how this. So now this thing has went from her telling her family members to her telling other ladies in the group. And I've never been that person. I think if I've heard that you said something about me, that I've always been the person that's going to come to you and I'm going to ask you for clarification. And this is a prime example of why you should do that, of why you should maneuver in a way that you don't allow all of this other stuff to happen in the background and cause all this unnecessary confusion, because Ashley has embellished, lied, and fabricated this story. Candace said that Ashley is messy. When she comes with information, she's being a messy ass hoe. And she's right. We know that this is going to be the first time that Candace is in Ashley's presence, and she says, I'll be fine being around her. Ashley is okay when she's okay. I just know how to maneuver with Ashley. We then see Karen and Ashley go to look for a communion dress. Karen brings up how she told Candace that it was odd that no one brought her name up while she was there. We see Candace saying she's glad no one did. We then see Karen in confessional saying like she understands what it means when no one's bringing up Candace's name, because they've done it to her before, and this is their way of trying to ice Candace out. Heard it first from Karen. We already know it's one of the reasons why they don't want to do scenes with her. Karen wants to know what's going on with the lawsuit. Ashley says you would probably know better than me. And Karen goes, when I asked Candace, she told me that she can't talk about it. And she's like, yeah, Michael said the same thing. That's not true. Ashley knows. I guess my question to her would have been, why is he only suing Candace when both Karen and Janelle and Robin, as well as Candace, have all spoken poorly about Michael at some point? Why is it that just Candace is the one who has a lawsuit against her, when Candace could easily bring up lawsuits against certain people on the cast, especially Giselle, alluding to the things that she did in regards to her husband. Karen then brings up how Mia's hurt based on the slow comment that Wendy made. I don't think that anyone else was offended by it. So the fact that Mia is just taking this and running with it, whatever. Ashley doesn't feel like Mia's really that hurt that someone called her slow, but she does feel like she will use this as something to ride on to prove a point. Ashley then lets Karen know that what she told Wendy was basically misinformation. And Karen says, so you were being messy. And she lets her know that she realized after, the Jose wore off, that she may have implied some things that NECA didn't say. And my thing is, if you really felt that way, why didn't you immediately call Wendy and let her know? Why allow this to continue to go on? We then see the kids have their first communion, and they all look beautiful in their white and in touches of yellow. We see them meet for brunch. Candace, Karen, Wendy sit down, and Wendy's mom approaches to ask if Mia is coming, because if so, they need to have more drinks as well as a raincoat. And it's a little kiki to the girls, and they're like, oh, she cleared the table. I want to know what Wendy's mom has done to her skin. Is this her bleaching, or is this a skin condition? It looks awful. It really does. And I know that some people have a complex about their complexion. And if she is bleaching, I think it's unfortunate because it looks terrible. We then see her friend Kay arrive, the one that they met up with at the place to have drinks. Then Ashley arrives with her new girls looking like they're about to pop out of her shirt. She apologizes for it. Wendy thanks her for coming, and Candace says that she is okay with being in a room with Ashley. Karen then invites everybody and their partners to come and play pickleball. Ashley then tells Wendy, you know, she's sorry, but she misspoke about what was said. Wendy's like, okay, why did you do that? Whatever, whatever. She's like, you know what? I'm going to let it go. I don't have any issue with NECA. So here we are with Wendy saying she has no issue with NECA. We then see NECA meet up with Robin. She seems nice and friendly according to Robin. As she's saying this, I'm like, it's clear that they are going to pull this girl in. Robin said based on their exchange, she was kind of confused because NECA's sitting here saying that she met her before, and Robin felt like it was her first time meeting her. NECA said, well, if she wants to act like that, then we could just act like that. My thing is, NECA, if you had such a problem with how Wendy greeted you, then why not say something about it then? She talks about how they met before at a concert and they met before at a party, but all she saw was eyebrows and eyes, so she jetted off in her Louis Vuitton to the bathroom and all this other stuff. Wendy has told us that she's seen you before, but she said that she does not know you. So at this point, this is just semantics. Now she's talking about how she was expecting Wendy to be aggressive when they met because of what Wendy has been saying to other people and what her family has been doing. And this conversation is really out of context because all of this started based on whatever Ashley told Wendy, because Wendy went back and told her family that this girl is talking about me. And it's valid. If I don't know you and I'm hearing from what I think is my friend that you're talking about me. Now, I would have said something to NECA, but I'm going to also not only talk to NECA, but I'm going to talk to my loved ones as well. Especially because a lot of times in certain cultures, your family is very close to you. So this isn't anything that's not reasonable to understand. How much did Ashley really misspeak? Because NECA at this point knows that Wendy does not have a certain relationship with these ladies. And I'm saying this because she saw that when they were all sitting in that room, that Wendy said, I invited Karen and I also wanted to invite you to my son's first initial communion. She saw that none of the other ladies were invited. So you already knew that she was not close to any of the other ladies. So why would you choose to have this conversation with Robin? It's messy. So you tell her all these things that her mother supposedly said, but you don't talk to Wendy about it. You tell her that she has a shrine and she put a hex on you. And now I don't like you either. NECA came in here to start problems, and it's going to get on my nerves because there's already enough people that are against Wendy and Candace at this point. I'm hoping that the friend that Wendy brought in will show her face a lot more, and I'm hoping that initially she's just a friend of, but it can become some more. I don't really see it for NECA, but they're going to keep NECA around because NECA helps with those colorism rumors, as well as she's siding with the bees on that side. You all let me know what you guys think down below. If there's anything that I did not talk about and you want to talk about it, put it in the comment section. Until next time.